Hey guys, welcome to the Time Bomb channel, and I'm your host, the Bombardier. Today I've got a review for you, which is actually a tad backwards, in that what I've bought in this watch today is actually a modding project. So what you're going to see here today will be gone quite soon. But anyway, I thought it might be quite useful to others out there who have yet to fall into the Vostok rabbit hole. So let's crack on. So here what we've got, little nice plastic box for you there. Just grab the focus on this properly. Some lovely instructions. My Cyrillic interpretation is pretty poor, so yeah, just basic instructions on how to use your crown. But I doubt anybody out there is going to need that kind of an explanation. And here inside the box is our watch of today. So this is the Vostok Amphibia, or Amphibian as it is sometimes referred to, and the model of this one is the 420306. If I've done my homework correctly, the 420 refers to the model variant, which is the slightly smaller version, which is out without the cushion case that you find on the 1967 replica. I chose this one for the modding project because the modding project is for my teenage nephew, and at the moment he's got skinny wrists, so I figured that this would fit him slightly better. My plan is to turn this into a full scuba dude version. Blue is my nephew's favourite colour, so everything that I've got is blue to go with this. But as yet I haven't started, because not all of the parts have crossed the Volga as we speak today. Little bit of background and history for some of you that don't know. The Vostok watches come from the Chistopol watch factory, and originally back in 1967 the two designers, Mikhail Novikov and Vera Belov, set about producing a watch which they didn't have at that time the benefit of the budgets and research that other manufacturers in the world had at that time. And here's a quick shot of one of the early models that they first created. And as you can see from that photo, they came up with something that is somewhat left field. And this new model from today is also still kind of left field. And I can imagine it's not going to appeal to everyone out there. But anyway, let's crack on. As many of you will know, the Amphibia itself has a cult following, specifically amongst the modding community. And again, I'm going to go out on a limb here and suggest that maybe for many people, this is the only watch you will ever need. You can buy 5 of these for the same price as a Seiko Sports 5. Yes, and then you can basically keep modding these things to your heart's content, or basically keep them as you've bought. But anyway, so just coming in a little bit closer, the watch itself, as you can see, the dial features the T-34 tank, which for many was a true game changer in World War II, as it was credited with the reversal at the Prokhorovka, probably didn't pronounce that correctly, Prokhorovka bridgehead during the Battle of Kursk, with Guderian himself wishing that he had a tank to match it, as it was almost impenetrable due to its angled surfaces and increased armour thickness. To me, here on this watch dial, it looks kind of cool, and I think it's good that Vostok chose to honour the designers of that tank here on the dial. So, to give you a little bit more of an overview of the watch, it's, sorry, the focus there, that's better. As you can see, it's still all covered in its plastics, only been out of the box fully a day, so I've left everything on there for the moment, just while I get my ducks in a row and start getting organised for the modding project. Despite its somewhat shiny looks, this is indeed a rugged little timepiece. It's 200, it's not actually written on the dial, is it? No. So it's 200 meters water resistance. It's actually based on more of a compressor system rather than standard waterproof watches. Being that this watch, so I'll start again. So standard waterproof watches are as waterproof in a glass of water as they are at 100 meters. whereas the compressor style that's built here into this particular Vostok actually, as I say, is built around that increasing external pressure, then increases the internal dynamic seals. So again, I think on a watch that cost me 55 UK pounds, I think that's quite a unique and interesting piece of design engineering. And I don't know, many other watch designs that are based on the compressor style. How many can you get for 55 quid? I genuinely don't know. So if you guys out there are able to point me in the right direction of finding those comparative models, I'd be super keen to hear about them. This model of the Amphibia is automatic movement, and it's got a power reserve of around 31 hours. As I say, just fresh out of the box, so I've yet to fully test those 31 hours. Again, perhaps in comparison with a lot of other watch models available now, that isn't a whole lot. But I'm hoping my teenage nephew is sufficiently active that he's going to keep this fully charged for the time being. It sits at around 46 millimeters tip to tip over the wrist, and it's around 39-40 millimeters across, and then 15 millimeters thick. The strap, as advertised, is actually 18 millimeters, except that it's not. The width of the strap here is actually 20 millimeters, whereas as you can see, the end link here is actually 18 millimeters. So do bear that in mind when you're looking to if you're going to switch the strap out for something else. That end link fixture there needs to be borne into consideration. The current bezel that I have on this one, as you can hear, is silent, but it's actually quite sort of granular. Really doesn't sound very nice at all. But anyway, I've swapped it out. Let me see if I can just pull up the one that I've got here. So I've got a Pepsi to go onto the top of that. Nephew's favourite colour is blue, so as I mentioned, this is going to become the full blue scuba. We've then got an additional blue strap to go with it, etc. So they've been changing out the dial for a blue scuba dude. So that's the direction I'm heading in. And then just on the case back, you can't see it very well here. There we go, better focus. That one is being swapped out for, where's it gone? Here. To head to keep with the, no you can't, I'm going to take that out of the bag. Insult people's intelligence by showing them a plastic bag. Rustle, shiffle, everything's in the bag. Here we go, spot on. So keeping in with the diving scuba theme, got the Orca case back to slip onto here as and when we can actually start getting the project rolling. So as I say, current bezel on this, if you're buying this to not mod, I think that bezel itself is going to prove to be pretty hopeless, pretty useless. It moves, it's not easy to get hold of. And when you move it, it doesn't feel good. I think you could probably knock it out of place, even if you were trying to time something. And obviously, the lack of numbers on there, perhaps again for many, will also not be that appealing. But again, understanding from checking out a lot of modding vids, these things are pretty easy to pop off and replace. And there's bucket loads of alternate options out there. So again, it should be an easy fix if that's going to be a concern for you. It does, of course, feature the standard wobbly crown of Vostoks, as you can see here. He says, I don't think it's actually as wobbly, perhaps, as some people refer to it. But again, if you buy this and discover that sort of thing wobbling around, you haven't bought a dud. The wobble itself is designed to protect the stem from lateral forces by being flexible. So that gives you that that additional security. Again, quite a unique little design touch there. But let's try and focus on to the crystal here. So the crystal is not a crystal. It's 3 millimeters of plexiglass. Something called, it's a plastic type called lucite, which apparently bends or flexes under pressure. However, It's because of that plastic nature, it is going to be a scratchy thing. So this is something that I'm going to flag up with my nephew. He's going to need to be careful with that, or he's going to be polishing out those scratches on a regular basis. That dome and reflectivity, I think, they certainly add to the retro look of the watch as a whole, but I do think it's going to put some people off. Yeah, as you can see, it really stands up quite proud, and I think as a consequence it's going to get knocked about real easy. The case and the strap, as you've been able to identify, are stainless steel. It's all a little bit too shiny, blingy for me. So if I was buying one of these for myself, I'd be swapping that strap out a little bit as well. And as you can hear, it's pretty loose. I mean, the lateral movement there is quite stiff, but I mean, I think it's your fixture here which is like super loose anyway. But again, for that price point, 55 quid. I mean, come on. It's you're not getting a bad little timepiece for that price. Actually, yeah, the watch when I bought it did come with this leather strap. It actually smells like leather, but it's so plasticky and flimsy. I may pass it on to my nephew, and so at least he's got that then alternate option of being able to swap out the rubber for this, should he wish to go a little bit more dressy one day. But if he doesn't, and he bins it or gives it to one of his mates, I'm sure it's served its purpose in life. So as I mentioned previously, this is all going to be built around sort of the blue options. I'm also planning another mod of the 1967 model, which is the one which comes on sort of like the turtle cushion case design. That one will be for my other nephew, and as I say, I'm going to do that one on a silver basis. So hence, we've then got sort of like the silver dial, and somewhere here, who's lost it, I've also then got a silver bezel with black markings on it as well. Most of the parts I've bought on either eBay or also on the other famous website Meranom. Delivery times and everything, from Russia, very mixed. Half of this lot came within 2 weeks. The other half, apparently, I've got to wait something like 2 to 3 months for it. Focusing more on the detail of the watch, then we've got the Lume. I'm just going to pop up some photos here of the Lume. As you can see, it's not exactly on par with Seiko's or Citizen's Lume, but again, at that price point, I think you're kind of getting what you pay for. The detail on the back does explain to you that what you've got inside is an anti-shock balance system. It also contains 31 jewels, which I might be able to see once I start getting on with modding this one. I mean, there are open case back available for those of you who do want to mod these things to be able to see that movement. I should caveat for myself, this is the first time I've ever actually attempted a mod. I'm not sure if I'm going to video the process of me fumbling around with my shaky fingers. So basically I'm just hoping that, more or less it goes well. My nephew is going to be happy with it, with the gesture, perhaps more with the gesture than with the results, but we'll see. So again, just to run through what I'm going to do. So new strap, new bezel, new dial. I'm going to keep the old hands, and then new case back. I did want a new crown, the one which comes with a little bee on it, because I thought they looked pretty cool, but I couldn't find one for this particular model at the time when I was shopping. Maybe they're available later. So just sort of last quick views of the watch itself, as it is now, for something for posterity to remember it by. And since I've had this watch and I've been thinking about modding it, I have inevitably compared it to other watches that I have and thinking of a way to describe it to you guys. And I reckon that if you're able to accept this watch for exactly what it is, rather than demanding something of it and where it'll only fail, then I think you're going to be happy with it, because it is a simple, a rugged, unassuming and totally unpretentious watch. And as many of you know, the Amphibia has a cult following, particularly among the modders. And perhaps, as I mentioned before, I'm probably going to get a lot of haters saying this. Buy 5 of these instead of your Seiko Sports 5, and you can mod 3 of them, keep 2 in the original condition. I mean, yeah, you've got a future of watches there. You could wear this to work. You could wear this doing sports. You can wear it casually. And again, if you've got multiple models of it, then you're ticking a huge number of boxes there. So actually, I might just throw it on wrist while I'm making the last comments around the watch. Yeah, as I say, the strap itself, I haven't even opened it yet. It doesn't feel massively secure. Yeah, it's kind of clunky, kind of industrial, but I think that's, again, really what you should be expecting at that price point. Keep your expectations where they belong and you won't be disappointed. So you can see, sorry, I've not sized this as I've suggested straight out of the box. 46 across the length there. It fits quite well. My wrist is 7¼ I think it's possibly too small for me. My preference, as you may have seen from my other videos, I prefer big chunky watches. I think if I do get into modding one for myself, again, I might go for the 67, which is that slightly cushioned case. I think it would fit nicer on my wrist. Just see sort of reflection there of the light through that Lume crystal. Yeah, you can really see how thick and dense it is there. But again, as I said before, it's been designed with a specific purpose in mind, and that's to bend and flex with pressure. But yeah, and to scratch. All right. So as soon as everything then comes through in the post, and I can start making the changes to the getting on with building this into something new, I'll post up a video and maybe my nephew's reaction to it, to his new toy. Let's see what he's got to say about it. As I say, it may take a couple of weeks minimum for me to sort of get that video of the new watch up, depending on the Russian Postal Service. But anyway, so guys, in conclusion, let me know what you think. Are we going to be cutting the red wire on this little watch or the black wire on this watch? Again, thank you YouTubers for your time, for viewing. Thumbs up, subscribe if you feel appropriate. And this is your host, The Bombardier, signing off. Thank you.